on the last day, everyone was in a very joyful mood. You know, they didn't need to look for the light at the end of the tunnel, they could see it.
Whoa!
Well done, dear.
Happy last day.
Same to you.
So, 14 years of Tolkien finishing today. 1998, I started.
You don't look any different, Dan.
I know. I feel a little different.
We're on. Peter will show up soon and we'll crack into it. Last day. Hey, Dan.
I know. I think you find that quite easy. Our last shoot day starts at 8:30 a.m. He's supposed to finish at 7:30 p.m. I suspect we'll be working late. Whenever we work a long day, I joke with the crew that I'm just softening them up for when Jim Cameron shows up in Wellington.
Where was that?
It's on Facebook.
Peter Jackson's Facebook page.
That's how we find things out.
I was awake about 4 o'clock in the morning. So I lay in bed, you know, thinking the last day, oh my God, it was all those emotions going through. And I just, you know, thought, well, why don't I just give myself something to preoccupy myself with? I think the first thing I did was filming my cat, who was saying goodbye to me on the way out the door that day.
That's brilliant. He's just getting dressed now, and he said, same clothes, and I've got a blue shirt and a white shirt. Yeah, and green pants.
And
yeah.
brown shoes.
At least he wears shoes now. I should...
And I just thought it's a way for all these fans that have been following our movies and the progress of our movies, you know, this was something that they can all just sort of participate in real time, or as close to real time as we could possibly do it, on the progress of our very, very final day of filming a Tolkien film. Arriving at the studio, 8:20 a.m. When I drive to the studio, I usually feel nervous and the day seems daunting. 100 people are about to look at me to find out what our first shot is. Some of the time I have a plan, and some of the time I wing it.
Yes, no, it's the very last day, and all we have to do is that. Actually, hang on, no, that's a lie, because then there's that. No, hang on, no, it's more of a lie, because, that. And then once we've done that, we can have a few drinks and go home.
Yeah, well, the last day, Peter was shooting Thorin's death, while I was shooting Philly's death and Killy reacting to that. And we also had to shoot Dwalin trying to get to Thorin before he's killed. There's always really emotionally charged scenes on the last day.
A lot of people were probably sad, and there was a lot of people who were actually glad and excited that it was their last day as well. It ended up being a really quirky day, you know.
There they are. There's my friends. See, this is the kind of trouble that we need to get rid of. Yeah, here they are. They're very naughty. You just missed the penguins were here again.
Well, I set the traps last night. Are there any in there?
No, there was 2 sitting on the stairs.
Right. It was just a happy environment on set. And, you know, generally it always was, but obviously everyone was pretty happy to have made it to the end.
How could you resist? I mean, we had an ice lake right in front of us.
Stab through the foot. Oh, it should be like you're pinned. And then suddenly he's going to explode out.
We've been piecing together the final moments of Thorin's battle with Azog. Every single beat has to be choreographed so that we can keep it safe and I don't get smacked in the face. But we did have an incident yesterday where I managed to hit myself in the face with Orcrist, and it split the prosthetic.
Are you okay, Rich?
I'm good. I just hit myself in the face with a sword. And our on-set medic was convinced that I needed to go to hospital because the skin had split and he thought that I might need stitches. Am I? And we got to a point where I said to him, you do realise I'm wearing a silicone face? And he hadn't realised that it was a prosthetic, which Kath Brown, the prosthetics artist, was very pleased about.
And action!
But you guys need to shift your weight from side to side, because otherwise it just becomes a bit of a dog breakfast.
Every job I've ever done, whenever there's a huge fight sequence which is remotely dangerous, they always leave it to the last couple of weeks. I'm convinced it's because they worried that they might actually kill the actor, and so if they do, they've still got the movie in the bag.
The thing about Richard that you have to understand is he gives everything. He had been doing this for like 2 weeks. This battle was incredibly physical. He was wearing unbelievably heavy costume.
The character, for me, was bedded into the ground, so I needed the weight, but then at the same time I would prefer to have been wearing a pair of Speedos to fighting, but it wouldn't have looked the same, would it?
He also had the flu. He wasn't well. If it was a normal situation, you'd phone in sick probably and stay in bed and try to get over it.
3, 2, 1, action.
And I know that Pete wasn't well in those last 2 weeks either. His body had succumbed to the workload and he was suffering from a cold. So both of our energy levels were being tested.
But I just thought, God, I can't be sick at the same time as Richard's sick. So I tried to really rev myself up, to try to help him as much as I could.
So you have to go deeper and deeper at the point when you are the most exhausted. And both of us, I think, recognise that in each other and we're driving forward. So it was relentless.
All right, Rich, and 3, 2, 1, action.
We've managed to replicate that idea that when two people fight, they slowly lose their energy and that the last moments are a real slog and trying to get that fatigue into the body, which I really haven't had to act. So, yeah.
Excellent. Here we go. One more for luck.
The defining last day.
This is the one.
It's almost like the end of days.
It's the end of days.
The book of Revelations.
The very last page.
With Thorin and Azog fighting on the ice. Originally, we wanted to somehow have not just Thorin abandoned by everybody. And so we did a bit where Dwalin was seeing Thorin in trouble fighting and trying to fight to get to him and not quite getting there in time.
Dwalin is Thorin's most loyal dwarf compatriot. And so I would fight my way through 100 orcs, even if I died in the process. And that was Dwalin's thinking in that scene.
He's still clinging on to you, so you give him another one. And so we had to design this whole fight of him just gunning it and he's not even caring about what's behind him because he's trying to save that guy.
Unfortunately for Dwalin this day, it came down to the dagger. He had lost his big axe, and this was a man who was nothing was going to stop him.
And we liked the idea of it being that up close and personal. And with a knife, you're like that close to the guy, just like...
If anyone's ever had Thorin's back more than anyone else, it's Dwalin.
And Dwalin's fear, the thing he feared the most, was failing.
That would have been in the movie and was always intended to be in the movie, but it's hard and it's always dodgy to have a character failing.
If it had worked, it was, an explanation as to why Thorin's not being saved by Dwalin, who's up there with him.
But I can see why Peter isn't putting in the film, because no matter what, unless Dwalin dies, he fails.
And cut.
And cutting that.
I'm really glad that that was the last thing I shot. It was very powerful for me.
All right, that was Graham's last shot on the Hobbit.
You know, you'd gone through all of this experience, and for it to finally end on this tiny moment where you know that when somebody shouts, cut, that's the last time you'll hear that on the set of The Hobbit. That's it. It's done. And there's a little part of you that just goes, can we just do it once more? Just once more. Don't close that door on me. Don't turn the lock and say, you're not allowed in anymore. And it was kind of like a blow, like a physical blow.
All done?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Cool. Good. Yeah. It was fun. It was a great scene to end on. Yeah.
I knew I'd get like this. Oh, dear.
Well, we haven't started to drink yet, so don't...
Oh, it's been such a pleasure.
Yeah. Same here.
When we wrapped, Peter would come and take a selfie.
Get my nose in the way.
And it was a bit like, now I'm having my photo taken. Okay. Oh, I'm still crying. You know, it's a mixture of exhaustion, emotionally spent, elation, disorientation. It's a bit like that moment where somebody gives birth and there's always somebody there to take a photograph of the poor woman who's just given birth, and they always look kind of like, what?
We'll see you very soon.
Thanks very much, everyone. Hey, buddy. I'm crying and then I start crying again. Oh, you're an emotional wreck, McTavish, you know that? You'll be the same.
I know.
And you.
And you'll be there to capture it all.
I'll see you.
Well, a lot of the guys had already been wrapped, so people like Jed and Mark and John, etc. We all agreed to meet at the Roxy for drinks.
We were all so excited, but really emotional. I remember taking photos of Stephen Hunter and Graham McTavish and Jed saying, you're a rock star, and they were doing like a catwalk down to the studio. And then we get there, and all the makeup guys are starting the party early, and we're just going around saying goodbye.
This is Jack, our friend. How do you feel about the rap party? How do you feel about that? I'm going to be there in about 20 minutes anyway, so yeah, see you guys there.
We're out here, Rap Man 2013, The Hobbit. Let's go, baby.
It's been awesome. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, guys. I'm off.
There was such energy. If you could bottle that, I'd love to have that every day. It was just real excitement.
Happy last day.
Hey, happy last day.
Yeah. You just you've got 4 sit-ups, we've got about 4 sit-ups. The race is on.
Hey, race is on.
Race is on, all right?
Yeah, but then
Whoever wins is probably going to drink all the beer.
Yeah,
so,
but it's unfair. It's unfair because we'll be done and then we'll have to wait for you to say yes.
I think we should go again.
Yeah, no, it's good. That's good. Thanks, Bruno.
So on the last day, main unit and splinter unit had a race to see who could finish first.
Nice.
Stay here. Search the lower levels. I've got this.
Okay, and cut.
Last line. Sorry, on the Hobbit.
On the Hobbit? Can I get the last line?
Yes.
It's coming to an end.
Even at that late point in the filming where people usually start to panic about what they're going to get, he was still up for an experiment.
And I wondered if you actually pick up the block and just throw it, and he catches the block, and then you just step off the edge and whoop, just coming out. I think that would look kind of cool. I don't know.
I'll sell it in the eyes. It's the windows to the soul, they say.
Go, pause.
Look at you.
And then body, which would just be a shape. Whoa. And then it's there that you see that it's your brother.
Action.
And body. Right, cool. Okay, moving on.
Oh, fucking sweet. That's how you do it, Bruno.
Yes.
That's how you do it.
Zane, the end of 771 days, almost. 2 shots to go.
Fantastic.
2 shots to go.
Pushing, pushing.
It's not usual that on the last day you get to shoot the actual emotional climax of the story. Usually, you know, it doesn't happen this way, that you get to do the end at the end. That's sad. I wish the ending was different. I feel like just changing the ending to go to talk to Phil and Fran about that.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, Pete sort of wants you to land it quite unceremoniously, so...
I was actually playing dead in my last shot.
Look at his mangled body. Shit, you were a heartthrob in the first 2 movies, you know that? You're a fucking wreck now.
In a weird way, my death mirroring the end of the shoot for me was definitely easier in terms of understanding that the project was finished, because if I'd been filming like a scene from back end, it doesn't have the same feel as the final scene of the final movie.
Yep, it's done. Yeah, it's a wrap on Dean.
Thank you very much, guys. It was the last shot of Dean on the Hobbit.
Feels really strange. I sort of don't really believe it's over. I feel like I'm going to get a call tomorrow saying, we'll see you next week. I feel sad. Yeah, I feel sad.
This thing is going up and like, you're going to ride it up a bit, you know. Cool. All right, lovely, let's shoot.
All right, guys, so now let's walk into it. Steadicam shot.
The last shot, we're neck and neck. I remember it was a sort of touch and go as to was it going to be a main unit shot be the last shot or a splinter unit shot be the last shot. Great, let's cut, let's go. So, one more.
Action! We were like on tracks. We were gonna beat Man Unit. There's no doubt about it.
We can do it, Splinter. Come on.
And reset, that was great.
Resetting!
Aiden knocked it out of the park into this wonderful performance, and he was like, it's gold.
Yeah, that's the last thing. Yeah. That's fucking awesome. That's great, that's in the movie, boys.
So we dial Peter and we go, hey, we've got the shot. Can you just review it?
Uh-oh, they're looking for approval already.
No, they're not looking for approval.
5 minutes passed. Then we kind of look at each other going, hold on, he's probably doing that on purpose. All right, so they're rolling over there, so Peter's going to call in a few minutes. It's convenient for him, so he can wrap his units, then watch us and wrap us.
I had the advantage because Christian, he has to do what I tell him to do, you see, so if he looked remotely like he was going to get the finish first, I would just tell him to shoot a different shot.
Yeah, okay, but he's...
And roll. Sorry, just shoot.
That's all right. Okay, and now we've got a note about the fringe.
Do you want to talk to Fran? He'd probably...
Okay.
And this note came back that they didn't like the way a little bit of hair was falling across his forehead. And we were like, okay, all right, how do we fix this? You know, God, what's wrong with it?
Going again by the sound of it. Action. At the very, very end, we did the last take with what Peter wanted.
Great, cut.
Take note of the time that we actually got that shot.
But at that point, Peter was focusing on Man Unit.
I remember Philippa and Fran and Pete kind of waiting for the moment of, how do we kill this character and how do we make it a significant death?
Yeah, but it looks sticky down. We've got that slow as well. Okay, my love.
You know, it's like the moment when Thorin understands that the only way to kill Azog is for himself to die. And in a funny kind of way, he's at peace with that.
Ridding the world of this being was more important than his own life.
I think, Rich, it might be fun to experiment with seeing you realise that your only option, you've got to just get that sword out of its trap, as it were, and by doing that, you're going to get it in the chest, but at least you've got a chance to get back at him. It's an interesting, because there's no dialogue, there's no way of describing that choice or what has to happen with words. The challenge for Richard as an actor is to actually have to have all those thought processes playing over on his face.
If the audience doesn't see it reflected in the character's eyes, those decisions being made, they'll just think, well, the character just died. They don't know why he died. So yeah, we fought for that precision.
It's okay. I think we can squeeze one last one on the mag. That was a great one, Rich.
Gotta go like the wind, gang.
Let's just do it straight away. We can squeeze one last one and... I'm gonna buy this one.
Yeah. No, it's a good thing.
Time we call this done. Okay, here we go. And 3, 2, 1, action. Try pushing and realise. It's okay. It's okay. And roll. It's okay. We're gonna run out, but we got the good stuff. We're good. We've run out, but we got it, Rich. Okay, well done. We're done.
Oh, they're clapping. Does this mean something?
Have they read?
I don't know. No, they're rolling, but they're on the last shot.
What was the fucking clap?
What was the clap all about?
I don't know. It's...
I just show my playback in sight.
Don't do that. Yeah, exactly. One more take with Aidan. I really couldn't see much of a difference. And we sent it through, and Fran and Pete were like, "Oh no, it looks great, beautiful, done. Come on through for a beer." Like, really? Okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
And thank you, everybody. Thank you very, very much. There's no one else to say, really.
I've never seen anyone so exhausted in my entire life, but in a good way, you know, and he was still emotionally in that moment, I think, for a good half an hour after.
I was a little bit delirious, and then I actually wanted another take. In my head, I was like, Pete, can I just have one more? Can I just, I've got another one in me, can I just do one more? But we were done.
You expect to have some big, profound emotional reaction at a time like this, you know, you think, wow. But you kind of just, I mean, it's 10 past 11. And you know what, I didn't get a wink of sleep last night, not 1 minute of sleep. So I'm in a kind of a jet-lagged, weird stupor. I'm a bit numb. Yeah, good. It's all good. It's all good. I'm going off to get a drink.
Apparently, I'm suddenly realised I've got to say some words and I don't actually know what to say. You know, we have been through this experience together, and I think we should feel very proud of the film. I mean, I'm truly excited about the post-production on these next two films, which doesn't always happen. Because sometimes you finish your shoot and you think, Jesus, I've got to try to make a movie out of this stuff. Don't tell anybody. But this time round, I'm really excited, and I think we've shot some great stuff. And yeah, and you know, all of you have been fantastic to work with, and we have been through this experience together, and no one else has. We all know. And thank you so much. Thank you all. I do have one official duty, which is to invite Jamie up, Jamie has a very personal presentation to make.
Jamie Wilson, he looks after the armour and all the weapons at Weta. He got this gift, and he called Zane, who's the executive producer, who's just the coolest guy. He's a big Steelers fan, and he's just, yeah, you know.
Zane Wiener, the producer, and I have some might say a checkered past, which stems back to the days of The Lord of the Rings, where we played a few practical jokes on each other.
Come up on the stage, guys. Come on.
I can take it, Jamie. Dish it out, buddy.
The most extraordinary thing was when Zane is presented with the lookalike Zane doll.
And it was incredibly lifelike and just a little bit spooky, and even a little bit wrong.
Complete with white sneakers and stonewashed jeans and sweatshirt, which is Zane's customary uniform.
It was one of the creepiest things I've ever seen.
The whole party was upstaged by this little weird puppet.
And everyone needs a little wiener.
And I think he's probably still cuddling it to this day. He probably has still got it with him. It's his little mini-me.
You're about to see a blooper reel, and so we have a couple of
things to ask you.
I remember screening a gag reel to further humiliate the actors and for the crew to have a good laugh.
What? Kill them, not me.
Who did you tell about your responsibility, Gareth? And simply, I don't know what's going on. Run, quickly.
Let me think.
Oh.
Are you all right, Precious?
I am.
Do you want a hand?
It's only my pride.
It kind of kept coming back to me trying to catch a mug. Oh, shit. So, yeah, that was great. And also, we were presented with our gifts.
Oh, yes!
We all got a beautiful painting of us in character.
And also, we were given the most beautiful photo of all of us in full dwarf gear.
I was not expecting anything. The gift enough was to be part of this trilogy, but now I have a fantastic photo of all of the dwarfs on our last day of shoot with Ian, Martin, and Pete.
And it was chosen because it did sort of capture the spirit of the company. Sort of like kind of a very rough, enthusiastic love towards each other.
Oh, yes,
To now say, oh, I was one of the dwarves in The Hobbit, which you say with immense pride. We went through the most incredible experiences together as a team of people. And so now we will always have that bond.
I never said anything about this when we signed on. I wasn't ready for it to end, and if you asked me to start it again tomorrow, in a click of a finger, I'd be there. The hair? No, burn it.
It's like when you're with a child, when you say, right, we have to stop now, we have to go inside for dinner, we're not going to play that game anymore. They say, let me just do it once more. And that was very much running across my mind. I just thought, I can do it again.
This is the best part of the whole job.
A rough day at the office today, Mom.
For me, watching those crew turn up every day without any of the glory.
Thank you.
They're not up on screen, but they turn up every day and they're incredibly cheerful. I mean, it's 3 years of very, very early starts and very late finishes.
I miss that community of walking in for breakfast and hundreds of people filing in and knowing, but not expressing that you're all in this thing together, you know, a feeling of community.
I'm sure there's no need to be concerned.
I want to write the theme tune, sing the theme tune.
Yeah, just had a little bit of an incident with the spider. I knew I'd make some friends, but I think the surprising thing was just how close we'd all get and how much I'd miss it once it was over.
You are just like him.
This wardrobe is a menace.
I think I can remember that.
It's been hard work, but you've won. So you're adrenalized.
Story of my life.
Okay, here we go.
We talk about Thorin and Azog's last fight, but in a way, everyone on that set was having their own last fight. They were their last push to make their work excellent.
We knew that it was the real end of the physical shooting, and so it's quite emotional because we almost worked 3 years on The Hobbit. You know, and the main thing that I remember from the shoot is all these memories that are not on camera, but behind camera.
It's not until I walked back through and I was standing on the set by myself and just had that moment reflecting. When you're back there and you're looking at it and you sort of realise how many hours you spent in there and just sort of how privileged you are to have been a part of it.
The shoot was a long one, but it was a great family. It was a great team.
We've always had the support of this incredible crew. They went on the journey with us. They really did. They signed up and they went there. They went there and back again.